Breaking Bad didn't fully explain why Gus killed Victor instead of Walt and Jesse at the beginning of Season 4, and the answer reveals much about the formidable villain. Victor, Jeremiah Bitsui, served as Gustav Fring's, Giancarlo Esposito, henchman when the character made his series debut in Breaking Bad Season 2. Like Mike Ehrmantraut, Jonathan Banks, Victor was a violent enforcer of Gus' drug empire and made sure everything went smoothly for his boss. Unfortunately for Breaking Bad's Victor, Gus, the man he worked for and trusted with his life, ended up slitting his throat. There's no shortage of murder and unexpected moments in Breaking Bad, and Gus Fring is the cause of much of it. However, that didn't make Gus killing Victor in Season 4's Episode 1, Box Cutter, any less shocking. Breaking Bad's box cutter scene with Gus and Victor is remembered for its visceral display of violence. However, this only really scratches the surface of the real meaning behind why Gus killed Victor. Looking back at the scene, it stands out as a defining moment for Gus Fring and cements him as the greatest villain in the Breaking Bad universe. Why Victor was killed in Breaking Bad. Gus showed that no amount of loyalty makes up for mistakes. Gus killing Victor in Breaking Bad is even more chilling given their history. As revealed in the prequel series, Better Call Saul, Victor worked for Gus long before the events of Breaking Bad. By Season 3, Victor watched over the meth superlab where Walter White, Bryan Cranston, and Jesse worked as part of Gus' operation. When Gail Boetticher, David Costabile, another chemist, was introduced into the fold, Walt worried that he would be killed and replaced with a newcomer. Walt devised a plan to kill Gail, making him the sole person to lead the meth cooking, but Jesse wound up doing the dirty work. Jesse shot and killed Gail at his apartment before Victor arrived to stop him. In the Breaking Bad Season 4 premiere, Box Cutter, Walt and Jesse were held hostage so that Gus could punish them for their actions. While waiting for Gus to arrive at the lab, Victor cooked his own batch of meth to prove that he studied Walter White's meth formula. Rather than target Walt and Jesse, Gus entered and cut Victor's throat with a box cutter before telling his employees to get back to work. Gus was unhappy with the fact that Victor was spotted at the scene of Gail's murder by neighbors, essentially putting the entire operation at risk. Ultimately, however, Gus killing Victor, his longtime ally, held a deeper meaning. As with everything Gus Fring does, it was a cold, calculated move. Gus sent a message to Walt and Jesse by killing Victor. Victor's death showed just how dangerous Gus truly was. Why did Gus kill Victor with such brutality? Although Gus didn't directly threaten Walt or Jesse following Victor's Breaking Bad execution, he no longer had to. The real reason Gus killed Victor in such a way is that it sends a crystal clear message to the two men. If they put the operation at risk, then Gus wouldn't hesitate to kill either one of them as well. Though Jesse was the one to pull the trigger and kill Gail, Victor clumsily and needlessly allowed himself to be connected to the murder. Gus' decision to kill his old ally was justified in his mind when he saw a composite sketch of Victor hanging in a police station later that season. Others may have learned to cook meth at potentially the same level as Walt and Jesse, but Gus was well aware that they had the highest quality of the product. This is another reason Gus killed Victor instead of Jesse. Walt and Jesse's partnership made them critical to the operation in Gustav's eyes. In Breaking Bad Season 5, Victor's death was mentioned by Walt while talking to Jesse. He stated that Gus killed Victor because he flew too close to the sun, and that greediness caught Gus' attention. In hindsight, Gus probably should have put more thought into taking Walt and Jesse out of the equation. The box cutter Breaking Bad episode was almost unplanned. The brutal death of Victor in Breaking Bad was a last-minute decision. Breaking Bad showrunner Vince Gilligan has always been open about the creative process behind the show. An amazing behind-the-scenes reveal about Breaking Bad Season 4 from Gilligan came in 2011. Speaking to AV Club, Vince Gilligan explained that the infamous box cutter episode, and Gus murdering Victor, wasn't planned until Season 4 was already in production.